Welcome to Javelina Scouting 2025. It is Friday, January 3rd, 2025. I am about 8 miles due northeast of a small town in Arizona called San Simon. I'm out here in the desert. Lots of prickly pear, and Javelina supposedly love those. And I just got here, so I want to get out and start glassing before I set up camp. I can do that in the dark. Check back in with you in a minute. All right, all loaded up. First plan of attack, let's go sit up on this hill. I got a good 360 view of the area that I'm going to be camping at. And we're just going to glass. Start picking apart this area, seeing what's going on. Hopefully nobody drives by, because I am blocking the trail, but I got a feeling I'm going to be the only one out here. This looks like a good spot. Well, this spotting scope is certainly paying for itself out here, because man, I can see up close and personal with some terrain that's several miles out. So according to some research that I've done on YouTube, I just need to glass. And we're not talking about just 5 minutes looking around and then playing on the phone. I need to be in this eyepiece for a long time. I've already spotted what I thought were Javelina, but they turned out not to be. We call those JLOs, Javelina-like objects, JLO. So I'm going to pick apart these mountainsides all around me, and I'll check back in with you when there's something else to talk about. So it just dawned on me as I spotted another vehicle coming this way. Since I haven't set up my tent at the area I want to camp at, I really haven't staked my claim. So I'm going to pack this up, run back over there, and start setting up. Let's go. All right, that guy is right on top of this spot, man. He apparently is driven by though. So there's a road right here. Crossroads right there. There's another camper way down there in the valley. I'm assuming that's where this guy went. This burns into my glassing time, but I gotta stake my claim. All right, 40 minutes from start to finish, man. It's a job, but the tent is set up. Throw some stuff inside, and we can get back to glassing. All right, so back at it. So we're just gonna pick apart these hills from here for the rest of the afternoon. I got 1 hour of daylight left. Pretty much looked around this whole area. So far haven't spotted anything. There is a lot of prickly pear out there. So this is very good Javelina habitat. It's just a matter of finding them now. As the sun's going down, I can feel the air cooling off. So we'll see what the night brings as far as temperatures go. I haven't even seen a deer. According to the map, there's a natural spring about 500 yards down this path that I'm going down, so I'm not sure if this is the spot where the other hunters saw those javelina at. It's either up there, that's where I'll be going, or they mentioned down this way, so that's where I'll go next. But for now, we're boots on the ground, just trying to find these little stink hamsters. So a little added difficulty to what I'm doing is, there's two other guys within a mile of me who are trying to bow hunt deer. And I'm out here walking around trying to locate javelina. So trying not to fuck up their hunts at all. He's up on the ridge near his camp glassing. So we exchanged phone numbers, so if I do happen to see anything, I'll let him know. I just hope I don't push anything out and fuck up their hunt, but hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see. So I can see there's a man-made, looks like a dam up ahead of me, a couple hundred yards. So obviously, this all fills up with water in the rainy season. There's my camp. One thing they say about scouting for javelina, or just hunting them in general, get up high in class, down below you. So I'm gonna try to get up there. It's gonna be quite a climb, but I'm hoping it'll give me a view down into the valley on the other side. Let's go find out. Well, backed into a cactus. Got those little hairy spines. So I'm gonna have to take a minute and pull these things out because they're starting to work their way in. It's not fun. You know, it never fails if you're gonna get some cactus spines. It's gonna be in a spot where it's difficult to pull them out. I think I got them. Everything out here is trying to poke you, sting you, or bite you. We're about, hopefully, 3/4 of the way up that hill. Really high up. Got a good view of everything, so pretty happy so far. Unfortunately, absolutely no real good sign of javelina. I haven't found a single cactus that's been chewed on, but I mean, the terrain looks good, so we'll keep looking. Well, we're at the top. really good view of almost everything. So I guess we're gonna sit up and do a little glassing. I can still see that other hunter. I think his name's Aaron. He's been in the same spot all morning. He's basically right over there. That's their camp, and he's on that ridge over there. Weather report stated it was going to be windy today. There's a good breeze right now, but it's not bad. I would love to be able to spot a deer for that guy. Put him on it, but we'll see if that comes to pass. So it's 11 o'clock. I really want to drive off to this other area and start scouting around there. I feel like I've got a kind of good grasp of this particular spot. And right now there's no animals. So I'm not sure that this is going to be the spot to hunt next month. Although, I mean, they saw Javelina here yesterday, so they're here. I'm thinking about walking back into the truck and driving off to another spot, because today's the big day for scouting. I only got about half a day to scout tomorrow. Alright, truck's down there. I came in this way through that natural spring and up here. We're going to walk down that way and come back a different route. Hopefully bump some animals or some sign, something. So I am on the impression that Javelina like to eat prickly pear. Now I know that they'll root up the ground as well, and that's not fresh. Something been digging in here, but none of the prickly pear look like they've been munched on by anything. So a false alarm. Keeping an eye out. So this doesn't look like it would have just fallen off like that. Something was chewing on that. Not only that, that particular cactus, I don't even see it around here. So it's pretty old. There's more of it. Aha, there it is. So that's that particular cactus. So something, and I'm going to say Javelina was enjoying it. There's some more dug up dirt right there. Again, nothing that I would call recent. That's probably a week or older. But, you know, finally found some sign. And apparently a particular type of cactus that they enjoy eating more than the prickly pear maybe. All right, this morning's scouting mission was unfruitful for any animals. A little bit of sign. All in all, it's probably someplace I should still come back to and hunt, at least for a couple of days, because I know there's animals here just based on what those other hunters told me. I'm now going to try to drive to my other spot, which looks like it's a considerable drive, but I'm going to leave my tent up here and come back here for the night because it's just too much work to tear that thing down. All right, so a bit of a curveball here. Apparently, we're entering the Hot Well Dunes recreation area, and there is a fee. Oh, it's only $3. I got $3. And it says no shooting down here, so I'm not even sure if I can hunt here. I just passed a frickin' what looked like a game warden. I could have asked them, but didn't know that this was about to happen, so. Well, shit. So I'm like an hour away from, almost an hour away from my other camp. So I'm gonna continue on. I'll go ahead and pay my little fee here and get on with things. All right, so this is a fee use area, but I'll be passing through it apparently, as I just spoke with some BLM officers and they squared me away on some stuff. And once I pass a particular cattle guard, I'll be back out in open range area, and the hunting and camping and shooting and all of that stuff begins again. But obviously passing through this area, all of that's restricted. All right, I am at the general vicinity of where I had picked out on the map to set up a camp. Obviously, there's equipment here, some sort of a water station. So camping won't be here, but I figured I'd just take a look around real quick, get a brief lay of the land. That I think is Javelina Mountain or Javelina Peak. I think that's what it's called. All this old stuff out here in the desert is kind of fascinating. Wonder how old it is, what its original use was, because I somehow doubt it was originally set up as a water station. Anyways, well, let's get back in the truck and get on down the road and find a spot to camp. And well, camp and then find a spot to glass for the rest of the afternoon, because man, it is, what time is it right now? It is 2:45, man. It's taking us a long time to get out here, but we're scouting. Never been out here, so it is what it is. So it is basically 3 o'clock. It's not as cold as my apparel may look, but since I plan on staying up here until it starts to get cold, I'm gonna try to be a little bit prepared. I'm not bringing my jacket, but again, hopefully it won't get that cold. Anyways, quick look at the campsite. It's simply a fire circle with a little bit of wood. Obviously, my tent would take up a considerable amount of that, but very close. So that's our glassing hill right there. And then all of that area there, and even to those hills over there. I'm hoping to have a good vantage from on top of that. So let's get walking and see if we can't find any of these stinky hamsters. So while we're walking up here, we have a little bit of a behind the scenes rant about making these videos. And man, it's a challenge. My biggest complaint is the amount of batteries required to make it through, hell, a few days of filming this stuff is a pain in the ass, because apparently the batteries that I have are old and don't hold a good charge. So like basically last night I depleted the 2 main batteries that I brought just to keep my phone and this camera charged. But in addition to that, I have an external microphone which has a receiver because it's wireless. Both of those things are battery operated that require charging. Now, they stay charged for about 7 hours at least each, which isn't too bad, but obviously, you know, I like to keep things topped off, so it's a constant staying on top of charging the batteries, which is obviously why when these more professional people that make these types of videos, they have a dedicated camera guy whose sole job is to make sure all that stuff's squared away. When you're doing this by yourself, like I am, you know, the main focus is hunting. And you know, secondary to that is just filming, but if you're gonna film, it also has to have some sort of a priority in its own way. Anyways, the other thing is the B-roll stuff, you know, because this, you know, you need to have some B-roll, me walking through the desert. Those shots like that, me opening a gate to drive through it. And that means I have to go set up the camera, walk away from it, walk past it, and walk back to it and get it, or whatever. Again, it just adds on to the direct mission of getting out and hunting. But I guess that's the price we pay to make some sort of creative content. Probably almost halfway to the top of the hill. It's starting to get steep, so you don't have to listen to me huffing and puffing any more than you already have been. I'll check back in with you once we get to the top. Bye. I can see the whole valley. This hill, obviously very good, and that other hill over there, open all the way down to the bottom. So I feel like this is a good glassing spot for the rest of the day. Yeah, this will be a good spot. So panning around, I can hit all this with binos really good. And then that far mountain range over there, the spotter will come in handy. And then we have all that open terrain down below. Keep an eye on. Can't see totally into the bottom of those washes, but that's all right. Still a good glassing spot, I think. I have another perfect example of how this fucking camera setup of mine is causing me headaches. So to repeat what I said when I thought I was recording, it is almost 4 o'clock. The wind has picked up significantly. I'm over an hour away from my camp. And my concern is if the wind is this bad at camp, how is my tent doing? Because if those stakes pull up, that thing could be thrashing around in this wind, and that would not be a good thing. So we're going to go back down to the truck. It's right down there. And we're going to drive up this valley, scope out a few things real quick, and call it a little bit earlier than anticipated, possibly. This is definitely a good spot. I mean, haven't seen any javelina yet, But, I mean, it's called Javelina Peak. Why wouldn't there be Javelina here? Don't they know? And it's a good view of this whole valley. The spotter, I can see that far set of mountains really, really good. Well, if you walk around in the desert enough, you're bound to find some interesting things. Antlers are a prized find. Skulls are even equally prized. And as I'm walking back to the truck, I see something noticeably white right down there. Looked at it through the binos. It looks like it might be a skull. So we're gonna go check it out. If it is a skull, I hope it's a Javelina skull. Not a cow skull. It's definitely looking very skullish. Yes, we have ourselves a skull, ladies and gentlemen. And I do say, by the location of where those tusks would be, that is a Javelina skull. So, not a bad find. I'll take that. Interesting that it's just a skull. Nothing else, man. It's been out here for a while. It's very, very old looking, little chalky feel to it. But hey, good find. Very, very good looking terrain. Honestly surprised that I haven't seen some Javelina yet, and for that matter a deer. So I'm about 400 yards away from a waypoint for a water hole. I'm going to check it out. The last couple of miles down this road have been really rugged. That's why we got a truck. And there's another water catchment. I'm wondering if that's what I marked on the map. So that's the water hole that I got marked on the map. And obviously, broken line there, but it all goes straight back into that canyon where that man-made water catchment's at. So obviously known water point for habitat, cattle and whatnot. Sun's falling down behind the mountain. It's already dipping down a few degrees noticeably, but this would definitely be an area to come out and hunt. I'm just going to go up the road here a little bit more and then turn around. Look at this rock. Got a hole in it. That'll be a nice little souvenir. Well, we are minutes away from camp. It is 6:51 p.m. I stopped by a couple of places to see if I can get firewood, because I want to have a nice little fire tonight, and I don't have a whole lot of wood left. But nobody did, so I guess I'm going to have to go scrounge up some more wood. Looks like the wind is pretty breezy here. looking at the bushes. Not sure how well that's going to show up on camera, but it's pretty windy outside. So still waiting to see how the
100 feet,
tent,
turn right.
getting our GPS on out here. So yeah, we're close. Check in with you in a minute and see if the tent made it. We are a few hundred feet away. Still can't see the white top of the tent though. It's still there. Yay! Tent's still up. So need to tighten up some lines. But other than that, I need to fix that. Oh man. Just stepped on a cactus. Not a very smart move. Alrighty. Another beautiful night. Clear skies. Alright, let's get settled in. Sunday morning, we're just gonna go and do some quick glassing and scouting of new areas that I haven't been to, primarily because those deer hunters were too close and didn't want to disturb them, but looks like they moved out yesterday, so I'm gonna mess around back in here. I want to address something that I'm getting on Facebook on the Arizona Javelina hunting group, and that the pictures that I posted, quite a few people have commented that it doesn't look like good javelina habitat, or it looks arid or desolate or a moonscape, and I'm blaming that on my camera, or the uploads not just coming out nice, because there's prickly pear all over the place out here, and that's javelina habitat, isn't it? So I think the pictures just aren't doing it justice. However, I don't know. So those hunters the other day told me they saw javelina down by a water point, and they indicated that it was in this area. Obviously, there's water. So I'm wondering if this is actually the spot where they saw them at. So I'm going to walk around and have a look, see if I see any tracks. Definitely a lot of animal tracks around the water trough. I see the footprints from the hunters. They were here. It's 8 o'clock. I'm gonna scout out another spot real quick and then start heading back to camp. Hopefully I can be on the road by 10 a.m. because it's about a 6-hour drive back to Yuma. So Still got a chance to find some heavies or spot some heavies, but so far not. To me, this seems like perfect habitat. There's prickly pear all over the place. But at the same time, I haven't seen any good sign of the prickly pear being eaten. I did find what I think is a yucca plant that looks like it was eaten, but I haven't seen a whole lot of those yucca plants either. So it is slightly frustrating, the lack of activity that I'm seeing, yet this water trough clearly has some sign around it supporting activity. So, and I mean, not a bad view either. Well, scouting mission has come to an end. Camp is all packed up. I am on schedule. I wanted to be done by 10 a.m., be on the road, and it's just about 9:30, so. Didn't see a single living creature except a cottontail rabbit, at least of the four-legged variety. I did reach out to those deer hunters that I met on the first day, and they told me again that yesterday evening, about 4 p.m., they saw those javelina again at that trough, or near that trough. So that is definitely the water point for the javelina in this area. And I will certainly have a high chance of coming back here late February for the hunt if I don't find something better map scouting. Regardless, we'll see you on the hunt.